Hello, my name is Bus and I'm terribly sorry for the massive delay in videos. I hope it never occurs again that you have to wait this long for a next video, but it has been quite a busy period for me in terms of schoolwork and everything. I had exams and yeah, a lot of stuff. But nonetheless, I hope you guys still remember what was in the last video, because I'm going to continue in this video. Please enjoy. Grab your chisel and the hammer, and now you just very steadily, very slowly start cutting things off. For this, I'm going to put my camera on the ground. The knot is being a little bit annoying, so I'm just gonna cut a few more lines with my saw, just to avoid it completely shattering. So, problem partly solved by cutting 3 times in the middle. Now I have to continue with the chisel, and yeah, the knot is being really difficult, but I guess I'm gonna have to power through. Too much came off. Focus, camera. So here's my line. This is the piece that has to come off. Had to come off because it's off. But this piece, a piece of the knot, yeah, it broke off as well. So when you look at the inside, you see where the grains from the knot, because I started chiseling that way, it broke off. So now it has a little gap over here. I reckon it's not going to be very big of a problem. I may try to reattach that piece, but I'll tell you my solution later when I applied the solution. This side looks beautiful, as it should be. It's quite flat, still have to work a bit over here, but then you have this. So yeah, it's about the size of my finger, the hole. So I guess I'm gonna have to cover it up. Things like this could have foreseen, like yeah, picking another piece of wood. This has really some yeah, this hole, this piece of wood that came off. Don't know how that happened, but all in all, this should do. The build is going to be equally strong, no, not equally, but strong enough and plenty to do its job. But if I'm gonna make the next stool, I'm gonna use new wood with no holes in there and things like that. And I'm going to immaculately plan where I have to chisel, so things like this don't happen again. I'm going to apply the second layer of finish on this. I used the light oak color because I think it resembled pine wood very good. So my brush, very fine point, and let's get to it. So now I'm going to do the sides. This is a very small surface, so really you don't need a lot of finish. It has a nice shine right now. So that's enough. You don't have to apply a very thick layer, but not too few either. Make sure the sides are good. And just like that, second layer is applied. It's really not hard though. It always says on the canister with what you have to clean it. This is white spirit, and do it immediately because afterwards you won't be able to get it out of the brush. So in my cup of white spirit, it has to dry for 8 hours. I'm gonna store it inside my house where there's a little bit of ventilation and it's not too cold, because it's like 8 degrees Celsius right now, and that's way too cold for the finish to dry. So see you after it's dried. First on today's agenda, I'm going to apply the third and tomorrow fourth layer of finish. When you think about how many layers you want to apply and you think, is the third or fourth necessary? You can't really overdo it. Okay, you don't have to apply 20 layers, but a third or fourth layer never hurt anybody. But after the second layer, it's not yet completely as smooth as I wanted. So I bought sandpaper 240 grit. Not sponsored, I just want to show it. So let's open it. This is obviously way too big and you're not going to use it all in once. So I'm going to grab myself a scissor and cut it up. When you use normal sandpaper of or 180 grit, then yeah, you can just start. But when you use fine sandpaper like this, it never hurt to rub it on something else first before you sand the piece you want to make very fine. Because some grains on here are a little bit too rough still. So what I'm gonna do, the bottom, which hasn't been finished yet, just give it a few rubs with this. When that's done, just lightly, don't apply too much pressure, just you can feel where you still have to go. There's a little rough spot over here. That's because there's a little dip over here, and yeah, with the block, that's okay. With this, it's almost impossible to get a splinter. So now take a brush, brush it off, because the very fine dust you get from this will get in every groove. That's smooth as well. Now I'm gonna grab a cloth and go over it again. This is a little, just very slightly made moist, so that the dust particles and the grease particles will definitely come off. These are just basic tools, but you have a bigger tool that comes in very handy, and I'm talking about an air compressor. Because you just blast everything off you don't need. But like that. Yeah. That's as smooth as I want it to be. So, as before, grab finish, put it in a plastic bag because you can still smell it when it's closed. My brush, some white spirit. Before you start, give it a good stir. And as demonstrated before, just repeat. The third layer applied. First stool is almost completely finished. The legs need to be attached to each other, to the seating, and there has to be a layer of finish on that as well. If you like this video, please leave a like. Consider subscribing if you like my content so far and want to see more of that in the future. Notification bell is a very helpful tool. It notifies you when my next video is uploaded. I thank you guys for watching and see you guys next time.